Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and this is going to be my first video that I'm putting out. I'm basically going to be shitting on somebody, so if you're into that, you come to the right place. I just couldn't watch this guy basically shit on a series that I've been in love with forever and not let it get away. And I thought, a little YouTube post, that's not enough. So here I am. I'm going to listen to what he has to say. Completely fair use. I'm reviewing it. I'm giving answers to what he's saying and also giving a rebuttal. So we'll just go right into this. I'm going to pause whenever I hear that he's saying something wrong, because basically what I'm seeing here is that he's making fun of a show he's not even watched, and you'll see that when he actually talks about the manga, he definitely didn't actually read it. He probably skimmed through a few pages through, said, okay, this looks nasty, I'm going to use those to basically shit on it. So here I am, and I'm going to basically tear apart everything he says. So, let's start.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but for the first time in my life, I was wrong. After all the negative comments and dislikes, I've come to the entire consensus that solid facts don't even matter anymore. If the populace believe abstract characters without any layers, classify and create a good story, who am I to fight against the will of people who believe that I'm not Digibro and can point out abstract facts about a story in its current state? Goblin Slayer is the best manga ever. And it makes complicated manga like Vinland Saga, Berserk, and the notoriously extremely long titled story manga, a story about treating a female knight who has never been treated as a woman trying to find love, look like a rabid dog on the street who needs to be put down for being touchable.
I recommend it.
The story of Goblin Slayer starts from year 0, also known as 0 year, also known as the Gated Year, starting with about 7 different girls being raped by goblins for a variety of reasons.
Let us just mention that it's not been 7, that it was actually a group of adventurers who were overpowered by goblins, noob adventurers, mind you. 4, there was a magician, there was a fighter, there was a priest, and there was a knight who was a male, who basically got killed off.
The characters won't acknowledge because this is a seinen story taking place within a seinen world with abstract shonen protagonists, straight out of Young Jump. But
let us just point out that Goblin Slayer is not a protagonist out of Shonen Jump. Let's just point that straight out. We're talking about a character here who's basically trained, who's learned everything he knows about his prey through trial and error, who's basically been trained by another one of them. Spoiler alert. So, another afactual thing that he's spouting out.
Like I said, this is the best manga ever, so hell
yeah. And now he's just posting some graphical nudity where basically he's reaching. You see that some of it was used from doujins, fan fiction and stuff like that. You can actually see the difference if you actually pay attention. You can see that in the doujins it's more sexualized than anything else. Here it's actually, when you see the pictures of the manga, it's portrayed as an act of barbarism. It's not glorified. It's seen as evil. It shows that these women who endured this fate usually don't recover from it.
Absolute fucking brilliance.
Again,
10 out of 10. So, with a dark opening like that, our genocidal Bryoconic hero goes on this Catholic-style 100 Years War / Inquisition mission to kill every goddamn goblin he can possibly find because they killed his sister, not his mother.
Actually, let us point out, let's let this go.
It killed his
Let us
sister.
point out
But after
that
a
he
dark
actually
opening
wants to
like
kill
that,
all
we
goblins
watched
because
the
they basically
over-sexualization
slaughtered
of a future
the
rape
entire
victim
village.
because this is the mature series.
Over-sexualize an anime, well, if you can complain about this in this current year, I'm sorry, you basically should stop watching anime. Because this has been a thing in every anime we've watched. I admit it's a problem, but does it ruin the entire series for me? No. Why should it? I mean, freaking A. Boobies. Who cares?
Tackling mature themes with real stakes like Game of Thrones. This is such a serious series. Look how
Game of Thrones, yes, because Game of Thrones didn't have nudity, right? Because Game of Thrones didn't show any naked breasts, because it didn't show any sexual intercourse, because oh god, if you make comparisons like this, make sure it doesn't actually, kind of fit.
how serious it can be at times. I mean, look at that body. It is absolutely 100% thick. There isn't any false advertisement with the tone of the series at all in the comparison to the opening to what we actually.
There is actually no false advertisement. You basically get a dark story, but sometimes you have lighter tones. A good story doesn't constantly bash you over the head with darkness, darkness, darkness. That's called. You have another Sword Art Online, which is basically bullshit, where the character's like, oh, I'm so edgy, I'm so dark, I'm so brooding. Goblin Slayer is a damaged person. He is. He is this. He is very much into the whole destruction of goblins because of what he saw. He's endured a psychological trauma that he can only endure through killing those who have inflicted it upon him. All great and good, but this cannot hold an entire show. We need to see him outside of that element. We need to see him. How does he react outside? How do people react to him? It's not just Goblin Slayer in this universe. It's the entire people in it. You have, as said, friend you've just shown who's, you claim she's a future rape victim, which has not happened until this. You know, I'm pretty current with the manga. I actually read it. So, no, she's not a future rape victim. Never happened because Goblin Slayer does his goddamn job and protects her. Continue on.
Getting content and resolve. There won't be any flippant tonal switch between characters and how they prospectively see the world and how they see each other as different individuals because every character has a personality. Everything's just gonna go Millhouse without abstract, I mean detailed, complex, and sophisticated characters who have real personality and have legitimate reason to do what they do.
Okay, so you're telling me that this priestess who joined Goblin Slayer in his hunt didn't have any reason. No, she has no reason to want to see Goblin dead, right? I mean, it's just that her best friends got raped. Another friend got brutally murdered in front of her. Another two died right before her because she couldn't heal them because poisoned. No, she has no reason. No, not at all. She's not motivated by reason. It's just because the plot demands it. No, but whatever. What do I know? I just read it.
Besides reasons and plots. I mean, Thorfinn from Vinland Saga is a trash in comparison to the nameless main character and supporting.
I haven't read Vinland Saga. I heard good things about it. I'm not gonna bash it. Not gonna bash it. It might be good. It might be bad. I don't know. I haven't read it. I'm not that kind of person that would compare one show to another because another show might have something that this show doesn't. And I know you're going to bash the main character for being nameless, but why do we need to know his name? His name is Goblin Slayer. That's all we need to know about him. That's all we need to know. We know basically as much as everybody else about him. When we meet him, he's a stranger. Everybody else who meets him doesn't know his name. They don't know his name. They don't know anything about him. They don't know his past. They don't know anything. We are in the same boat as those characters who see Goblin Slayer. We don't know him. We get to know him with the rest of the group, as is shown throughout the entire series. But, that would take actual effort and you reading the manga before you bash it. Continue on.
Characters who will eventually receive a real character development 7 volumes into.
As I stated, it's not 7 volumes in, if you actually pay attention. We're 22 pages into the manga right now, and we've actually seen Goblin Slayer starting to open up. We've actually learned that his personality traits, his quirks, which I admit is a meme-worthy Goblin Slayer, but we see more than that if you actually pay attention. How he actually is willing to put himself at risk for others. What more do I need to say? He puts himself at risk for others. He's intelligent. He has learned everything he's done through trial and error. He is, for the lack of the better word, autistic in his desire to kill goblins. He's very socially awkward because, well, I guess anybody would be after witnessing the horrors that he did. So let's continue on.
This series, which is about over 10,000 words into this franchise. Maybe we'll learn their goddamn names so we can actually care about them and
So you need to know their name to care about them. Is that what you're telling me? You need to know their name to care about a character. I thought you needed a character to care for a character, not their goddamn name. And he continues doing this. He just continues throwing platitude that make no sense. Let's continue. 3 minutes in and I already want to shoot myself.
Call out to them when they're in trouble within this series. Anyway, in the world of Goblin Slayer, goblins are perceived as dumb fucks who have the intelligence of children. If you want something to compare their intelligence to, according to all the characters, they are as smart as 3-year-olds, but proven constantly throughout the series, apparently our unnamed focal point characters have the intelligence of newborn babies.
Okay. A little thing about that. He just showed a panel where goblins actually set up a trap for these adventurers. It's a common thing that everybody thinks goblins are stupid. Low things that, copper plates, the lowest ranking adventurers deal with. Because they have the physical ability of children, yes, that is granted, and alone are about as intelligent as kids. But here's the thing, they have their own strengths, which are banding together in groups, where their intelligence usually amplifies, where they have shown to set traps for adventurers, where they start taking advantage of their goodwill and actually kill them for it. They're shown to be intelligent. I mean, you'd have to make a claim like that they're actually all stupid. You'd not have to read them. You didn't read the manga. You didn't. Because it's shown they can form sentences, they can talk, they have strategies, they have battle commanders even. Are you kidding me? Yes, the lowly grunt, the one who follows orders in the horde, the foot soldier, is a complete moron. But that doesn't matter. As long as you have the shaman or the lord that commands them, they can be a threat. That has been proven. Continue on.
When they fall into traps after traps, no matter how simplified it is or how simplistic in nature it is in all about ways. Some adventurers, they are, just look how skilled they are.
Okay, let me just mention something. The usual adventure that deals with goblins is a newbie adventure. A no-life, comparing it to a video game. You're a level 1 person in a rural region getting a quest from a no-name NPC to gather 7 rabbit butts. That's basically the kind of adventure they're dealing with. So of course they're not skilled. Are you kidding me? They're newbie adventurers. Those are the guys that they usually send out for goblins. Of course they're not skilled. Goblin Slayer, instead, who's dissected goblins, who's studied them, who's had engagements several times with them, again, who's gone through trial and error to see what works and what doesn't, and has been on death's door several times because of it. It's not that he's a Mary Sue. He's a man who's learned all the ins and outs of his craft through time. I know that's a little hard to understand, but, that would actually, because that will take actual comprehension of what you're reading. Continue on.
And to point out another fact, they're all women, because all women are fucking...
Oh, God. They're all women. Let's look at Goblin Slayer's party. We have the priestess and the elf, 2 women. Alright, let's see at the male group. We have this lizard dude, a shaman or something. Then you have a dwarf, also male. Goblin Slayer is a male. So 3 adventurers who are male in Goblin Slayer's team versus 2 that are female. So all female? I don't think so. The group you're talking about is probably the newbie group, which had 3 women and 1 male. Again, not all women. And if you actually look at the Adventurer Guild, it's actually not exactly shown, but but it's not exaggerated more women than males. You have, I would say, actually a even number. If you'd actually bother to read it. Continue on.
And can't see what's right in front of them. But I wouldn't
As
worry.
mentioned,
These aren't complaints. I'm just pointing out the many high points of the story besides the abstract story that's so easy to understand.
Sarcasm,
with incompetent
again,
characters that only succeed in their quest because the plot demands they do, such as the Mary Sues that they are.
Mary Sues. What's the point about this? You're actually showing one of these newbie adventurers being brutally murdered and beaten and raped. Yes, such a Mary Sue. Goblin Slayer, who's also had his fair share of near-death experiences. Such a Mary Sue. The High Priestess, who wasn't even able to rescue her friends because her healing abilities weren't that powerful. They weren't even able to rescue one who had a minor wound but couldn't really heal poisons because Mary Sue, overpowered. Did you actually read it? I know I'm repeating myself, but it bears repeating. Did you actually read it? Or did you just skim through it, look through pictures that would look offensive to use in your little video to jack off to your own false sense of superiority where you have all this snarky sarcasm? I'm so smart, look at me. And not just, I don't really want to talk about his voice that is ear grating to listen to. I'm just 4 minutes in and I already want to stop. But I'm bearing through. Let's continue.
Within the story.
Oh yeah, continue on.
But hang on a second.
Comparing it to other animes.
1 second. This reminds me of another story where the screenwriters were so goddamn lazy, they think it'd be a good idea to fuck the main character like it was a sick fetish BDMS porno where nobody wins at.
I'm just going to skip this because this is bullshit. Goblins are monsters who procreate using human females because there are no female goblins. I don't understand how that is so hard to understand, but seeing how his little mind can comprehend it, I'll just skip that because I don't think we all want to deal with that. If you want to watch it, I'm going to put the link to his video in the description so you can not say that I take anything out of context. He basically just compares the show because Legend of Korra didn't show the main villain raping Korra. How it's, oh yeah, whatever. It's so stupid. Okay, let's skip this and go right here.
Good idea. But hey, this reminds me of another plot with another amazing Mary Sue. But then again, because Goblin Slayer is so fucking amazing, and all the women in this manga are klutzes, incapable of doing anything.
All women are klutzes, incapable of doing anything. Have you actually watched the defense arc, where they defend the farmland from the Goblin Lord? Did you actually watch that, where they had actually competent adventurers, not bronze rank, but we're talking about high-ranking adventurers, where they killed goblins in the masses, where you have this female elf basically taking out two with one arrow, where they actually help Goblin Slayer, where the priestess actually is of use to the Goblin Slayer. Not in the Mary Sue way, as you claim, because, it's not that the elf is just capable of, I don't know, shooting one arrow into the sky and through some magical mumbo jumbo a few trillion fall down to destroy an entire goblin army. No, you don't have that. You have them actually using their skills beating the enemy. And it's actually it makes a lot more sense, and I'm saying this about a fantasy where magic and goblins are real, but it sounds a lot more realistic. I know that's ridiculous to say, but, continue on.
Consistently within the plot, unless that main character is a heroine or anyone of importance within the story that are overly sexualized because reasons. This is just a subversion of genre, because the dark tones of the series doesn't matter. But hey,
bullshit.
Seriously, hey, what do I know about Mary Sue's?
Yeah, you don't know anything, because apparently you don't know what the term means. It means a character who is infallible. Goblin Slayer is fallible. He has been beaten. He's been close to death. He has his own character flaws. For instance, that he doesn't give a shit about what happens to the world because he only cares about goblins. Character flaws. Do you know that automatically means he's not a Mary Sue, right? Granted, it might not mean he's a good character, but a Mary Sue is a flawless character. Superman is a Mary Sue. Completely infallible, unable to be corrupted, unless you go for, well, we're talking like Silver Age, back in the day where, he could sneeze away galaxies and he was always as strong as he needed to be. These days he's actually been rehauled and it's a lot better than what it was. Still not a character I enjoy, but not a Mary Sue. That's the difference. You don't like his character. That doesn't make him a Mary Sue. Continue on.
What do I know about writing stories? What do I know about video game development? What do I know about anything? Because I'm clearly in the wrong.
What does video game development have to do with this? This is not an isekai. This is not about a character who's been transported into another gaming world. We're not talking about Overlord here, which I love, mind you. We're talking about Goblin Slayer. This is based in their reality. It's not another world for another character. It's not the whole, this person is from a world similar to ours, but he's been transported into another world or another gaming world. It's not that. You're comparing it to an isekai, which actually shows how little you know. Why am I doing this?
And this video is for me to assert that I'm clearly wrong about my own opinion. I'm just this dumb fuck on the...
You're allowed to have your opinion. You're allowed to not like it. You're not allowed to lie. Because that's what you're actually doing. You're claiming you know this show. You're stating things that you think are fact, which are not. This is not your opinion. This is things you've tried to gloss over as facts, which are not true. Your opinion would be, I don't like it. I don't like it because there's too much sexualization, which, granted, fair is fair. Stop watching anime, because, it happens in any anime. Sorry to tell you this. It's just how Japan works, it seems. Nudity and fan service doesn't automatically make it bad for me. Do I groan and roll my eyes when it happens from time to time? Yes, I do. But I'm not going to say an entire show is shit because of it. Because there's more than just those boobies that got you distracted the first few moments.
The internet. I mean, seriously.
Here's to not giving a single fuck.
Yeah. I guess that's what she...
That they still
was that picture really yours? Really? That explains a whole lot.
Needed to live in the way that you created them.
Okay. That explains a lot. Continue.
The dream is dead. The dream is dead. The dream's dead. Catherine, shit. I don't even remember where I'm at anymore. But the point I'm trying to make is that Goblin Slayer is so badass as a character. We don't even get to see him train in a
No, you're not. Again, this is a character you're meeting for the first time. You don't know what he went through. You don't know what his training was. You just know this guy knows. If you want to see the montage, there is actually a spin-off where he starts training. You want to read that? Read it. I know you don't pay. I don't know you do any. I know you don't do any kind of research, but there is actually a manga where he trains, where he starts from a little kid and practices, where he gets his ass handed to him again and again and again, where he learns what works, what doesn't, nearly dying constantly because of it, because of his mistakes. He learned. And it's actually shown if you took any kind of effort to do research, which you obviously didn't.
To get to the point where he's at within the story to see how badass he is. This is in the gated here. That's how badass he is as a character, because he's Goblin Slayer. It's like saying he's Batman, but instead of saying Batman, we replace him with Goblin Slayer. That's just how capable he is as a character. He's for a while, and comes back jacked up, ready to kick ass, and he does it. And it makes him wet. That's like the best character trait ever. Let's all look at this in a bigger, broader context. I wish I could kill people like a psychopath and smile about it like I'm crazy.
There's something wrong with you then. I'm not looking at Goblin Slayer as somebody I would want to beat. I'm looking at him as a character who I feel sorry for. A character who's went through horrible shit and is letting it out on those who are responsible for it. If you want to be like this character, there is something wrong with you. Just saying.
No need to fret. I definitely don't have any mental problems, and children aren't born inherently good, but instead proactively evil, because that's my entire philosophy.
Your entire philosophy has nothing to do with this show. Your entire philosophy is not the philosophy of this world. In this world, goblins and humans don't get along. This is fact. Those children are taught from the get-go to be, evil to humans. This is a fact. Spoiler alert for anybody who's not read it yet. But Goblin Lord was a child once. His nest got destroyed by a lady adventurer. Lady adventurer saw the kid and was like, "Oh, how cute. I'm going to let it live." Yes, the kid was very thankful for that. Goblin Lord was very thankful for this. So thankful, in fact, that he took a stone and bludgeoned her to death, and then raped her. Yeah, definitely. Let those children live. Let them grow to be future pillagers. It's explained why he kills those kids.
Forget the entire ideology written by Ming Zaifu of the Chinese Empire.
Doesn't exist in that show.
Innocence and how nature versus nurture
doesn't exist in that show.
Because nature over nurture doesn't apply to
doesn't exist in that show.
Evil like black people. Orcs.
SJW bullshit.
Goblins. Goblins.
Warcraft
I don't know why I
goblins.
said black people. I must be out of
Some
my
other
goddamn
fantasy
mind.
goblins that are not part of that universe.
They're just garbage rapists who can't spawn any children due to the fact that they can't procreate because of their own physiology.
They can only procreate with human women because they don't have any females in their race.
According to our OG MC with layers of personality and isn't an abstract textbook psychopath who has
he is a psychopath. It doesn't make him a dumb character.
Believing that they're on a Warhammer 40k war-torn path of Gar's galaxy, ultimately trying to eradicate all humans due to reasons unknown.
They were talking about
But
myths
then again, that's
and where
also a
goblins
better
came from.
plot than
He said
Goblin
of the
Slayer.
one
I
that
mean, what am
his
I
parents
saying?
told him
I mean,
about.
40k Warhammer sucks. Goblin Slayer is the
Nobody says
definitive
40k
Goblin
Warhammer
story
sucks.
featuring
You're
orcs,
comparing
goblins,
shows
mages,
with
witches,
this.
and a whole slew of other
You're the
fantasy
one who needs
creatures.
to do this.
Goblin Slayer
Not
is number
everybody else.
one. Forget the entire lore of Warhammer 40k. That's just garbage. But
You're
after
garbage.
the precious Gaiden years, with the introduction of our heroine, without a goddamn name, of course, she is in an
Yeah, because
unforeseen
that's the most
situation
important thing.
again with a group of females at the
Again.
right place during the wrong time. And we all know what
Group
happens
of
when
females,
that means.
one man and 30 females. Let's watch this and I'm going to give my opinion afterwards. Version.
Extra!
You really gotta stretch. Let's compare the pages that you actually took from the manga to those fan fictions that you need to rely on to throw your stupid agenda. The images of the manga is shown to be grotesque, evil, barbaric. In those doujins you saw, it's glorified as something erotic. There are sick people. I'm sorry to tell you this. Doesn't make the writer of this fan favorite a supporter of rape. He just put it into his story because it exists in this world. He's willing to address it. And, well, goblins are usually the ones who usually do it. It's just, are you willfully that stupid? Who am I kidding? Of course you are. Continue on.
Absolute fucking brilliance. 10 out of 10.
Oh, I'm so soon.
Not
I'm
only
so
is this
freaking
not
funny.
traumatizing
Listen to
our
my
14 to
sarcasm.
16-year-old
Oh yes, I'm such a
new
condescending
main
asshole.
female heroine, but because she's a brave, strong character that isn't an abstract character with layers so deep she has to dig a hole to hold all her personality, she is layered so well that she psychologically trained herself and doesn't gain any PTSD or trauma from her experience with goblins.
Oh yeah, no PTSD. That's why she needs to stick with Goblin Slayer and freaks out whenever he's gone, right? No PTSD at all. No. Just because her PTSD is not like his, just like because her PTSD is not like her friends, doesn't make it not PTSD. Different people react differently. And this manga actually pointed it out, but it went way over your head.
With near death, she's practically Catherine Kane, Batwoman. That's how
Comparing
capable she is as a character, because she resolved her heart to not be an episode of Law and Order Special Victims
because that shit
or the
exists in this
feminist
world.
fantasy known as Jessica Jones season 2.
Feminist because you're
During
still
the
one.
more grim and intense moments, too, she displays knowledge of the Grandmaster Ming Xin's philosophy, but because Goblin Slayer, the well-developed layer character, is the main man that calls the shots, he dismisses all her claims and smashes the head of the children right in front of her.
Because what was she going to do to stop him? This is not an episode of Naruto where deep-seated trauma that came to you as a kid, where you watched your mother and sister be raped, killed, along with your neighbors and friends, hunted down like you're just a wild animal, and attempted murder at yourself for being a human. Just that. They tried to kill him just because he was a human. He was a kid. He didn't fight back. He didn't have anything to fight. They didn't care. He was easy prey because he's food. So now he comes back for revenge. You think a priestess that nearly died, is nearly dead, doesn't have any magic whatsoever to help her anymore, can stop him now. You think words are enough. Sorry, I don't think that's the case.
Which causes her to breakdown from the intense trauma because that's such a horrific thing to see.
Because
our new heroine isn't a part of the Mary Sue family of incompetent characters that get
Mary Sue's are perfect characters. I explained this before. Superman, Silver Age years, Mary Sue. This, no. As soon as somebody has character flaws, which is hers, which is her overbearing kindness, which is the fact that she gets sick from doing this. She doesn't want to kill people. It's the fact that Goblin Slayer knows how to use her abilities. Every kill she got was because of Goblin Slayer's instructions. It's because he knew what to do with her abilities. He constantly asked, how many more charges do you have? Because guess what? She's not a Mary Sue. She's not perfect. She has limits to her powers. She has weaknesses. Do you know what a Mary Sue is? Because I doubt it. From the way you just keep throwing the word around like it's in your hipster dictionary. Continue.
handouts from the author because she's quote-unquote layered.
No hand-me-downs. Goblin Slayer saw that her abilities had use and decided to use her. That is the only reason why at first she was allowed to join in. He was reluctant because he usually fights alone, but he was pressured by the guildmaster to take her in. He didn't want this, but he saw use in her. So he decided, fine, let's use her. Every kill she got was not because the writer suddenly made her into a Mary Sue that can throw fireballs the size of freaking sun, or like giant stone boulders like the size of the moon, like she's mud on crack or something. No, all her abilities were the same abilities she's used. They're still weak. It's just that Goblin Slayer knows how to use them. He doesn't rely on her minor healing, which was her go-to answer. It was her barriers, which he used for offensive maneuvers, which she never considered, which she found sickening at first, which even was made fun of a little, that she started getting used to it because she hung out with him too much, and she needs to, because that is her PTSD. She clings to the one who saved her. She feels safe with Goblin Slayer, which is why she is so dependent on him, which is why she takes his word as law. It's because he has shown her that he knows how these creatures work. He's studied them. He had trial and error again and again to get him where he is. I know you think he's a Mary Sue because your thinly layered sarcasm ain't fooling anyone. But it's not. You don't know what a Mary Sue is. Mind you, a not Mary Sue can still be a bad character. You can still not like them. But that doesn't mean they're Mary Sues. Continue on.
He doesn't give a fuck at all. Her party was completely annihilated and murdered like the ending of My Bloody Valentine.
Yes.
There was no flowers. There was no funerals.
Nope.
There was no tears for them. There was no mourning.
Because
Not even a
they
call
got
to
burned.
their goddamn parents or any loved one or acquaintances. She just kept on
How do you know that? How do you know that? It could have happened off screen. Just because they don't show everything in a freaking show, that automatically means it never happened? Oh, I guess the Avengers never got called because they never show it. I guess the Avengers have telepathic powers because they call across each other. It's called creative liberty, my friend. They left that out because it would be boring to illustrate. So, they left that shit out. Doesn't mean it didn't happen off screen. Could have not. Who knows? You just assume it didn't because they didn't show it. It's actually stated that this scene you're showing is actually a little bit after that happened. I think it was a week, maybe a little bit more. They're not specifying time, but they say time has passed, which makes it realistic. It gives us in our own mind the liberty to add how much time it would take for her to overcome the mourning and decide that she is safe with Goblin Slayer. It's basically the same thing that they used in the animated show Beauty and the Beast, where they never specified how long it took for them to fall in love, where it was just seasons passing. That's all we saw. We never got specified how long. It was just said time passed. The same thing happened here. You're just willfully ignoring it because you probably didn't read it. But I digress.
That's how capable she is as a character. No emotions. Absolutely superfluous to any other female heroine seen in anime or manga. It may have took Casca 21 years to finally gain back her sanity after seeing the nightmare fuel known as the Eclipse, but even though, that heroine didn't see anything horrific.
Which, let's be honest, what she went through, priestess I'm talking about, horrible shit. Horrible. Completely understandable she has her own mental traumas, which she does. She does. He just, it's just not obvious as with the other characters we see, so he automatically assumes there isn't any. But if you can actually see subtle things like that, you actually see that she's dependent, and that's her PTSD. She is completely reliant on Goblin Slayer. That is hers. Now, Casca, if you compared him side by side, which he constantly does because, he's completely talentless. That's the only thing he knows what to do. Casca's predicament was worse. We can at least say that the priestess wasn't raped. Casca was. And not just by some nameless monster. By one she called friend. One she saw as a loved one at first. One she saw as a brother later. Right in front of the one she loved. She saw her friends ripped apart in the most gruesome manner that makes the Goblin series look as if they were playing patty cake. Casca's predicament was worse. I know it's a horrible thing to say, comparing those two horrible situations, but it's just how it is. Casca's was worse. The priestess's, in comparison, was a lot tamer. It was still horrible. I'm not saying it isn't. But compare. You compare these two. So let's compare them. What did Casca go through? What did the priestess go through? Compare. Casca lost a whole army of friends. The Brotherhood of the Hawk, I think it was called. I'm not sure. But it was an entire brotherhood that died. Everyone she knew by name and saw as a friend. All of them died, ripped apart in the most gruesome manner. None of them survived, except for Guts, and even he had a horrible fate. Even he had his arm ripped off, his eye gouged out, and branded with a demonic seal that basically made him a freaking meat bag for every rabbit demon on the freaking planet. The priestess lost two friends. 3 if you count the one who's now psychologically scarred and unable to do anything. 3 friends. And unlike Guts, who left her behind, granted, it was out of a good reason because demons would flock to him like moths to an open flame, but he still left her. Goblin Slayer, the one she needed, stayed by her side to help her through. Differences, my friend. I know you keep comparing apples and oranges without addressing the actual facts of the matter. But you want to call yourself a reviewer? You want to call this an analysis? This is base level shit. I'm a mechanic, not a psychologist. And even I know this crap. Continue on.
She's getting on up and she's doing just fine. I mean, just look at her smile like nothing fucking happened to begin with.
Sarcasm,
and she continues to be an adventurer
which is
because of
completely
reasons.
grating on
That's
my
how strong a
nerves.
character she is emotionally. But of course, because of this, is the subversion of the genre of the dark undertones are replaced with boobs and laughs, because you can get a funny laugh out of most of the things during dark comedy sequences, during any given situations, because we can laugh our problems
I'll address
away.
this in a moment.
That guy's brain is a bag full of cats. You could smell crazy on him.
I've care how you speak. Loki is beyond reason, but
Good
he's
thing.
of
Love this
Asgard,
thing.
and he's my brother.
He killed 80 people in 2 days.
He's adopted.
Funny, right, guys? So funny. It's not like 80 people matter that were killed in cold blood with no remorse whatsoever.
Did you see Thor laughing? It was a comedic effect for the audience that brings some levity into a dark moment. I know you SJWs probably don't understand humor, which is something I really don't like to say unironically, but if the shoe fits, you are. Oh my god, Black Lives Matter, Green Lives Matter, oh my god, feminism. This comedic scene was meant to be funny for us. He actually used it as a term to say, I'm not like him. He's not like us. He is not like the rest of us. He was defending himself. Granted, it wasn't a comedic tone, but you laugh about bad shit. It's how you get over it. Comedy is the best medicine for such situations. 80 people died. Yes. And you want to know how many people Thor has seen die? Do you know anything about the Marvel Universe? I doubt it. I really do. And this is nothing about Marvel, so I'm not going to get into detail here. If you want me to get into detail why I think this was stupid, just leave a comments down below. I'll make another video, an addendum or however you call that, to this video explaining why this is stupid. For now, let's focus on Goblin Slayer, which is our actual topic that we're trying to talk about here. But it's kind of hard since he's jumping between shows, games, and everything without rhyme or reason.
Only matters that it's fun to watch. On screen, the psychopath just kill a bunch of people and call that decent characterization, which we'll use to jump forward the other comedy scenes within other movies, because this guy's not a monster. He's just ahead of the curve. But like I said, Goblin Slayer is so good. Alright, shut the absolute fucking brilliance. 10
I
out of
don't
10.
get what he's trying to say here. He's completely stupid. So
The Wikipedia
I'm just
page
looking at the time,
each
seeing it's nearly
character
over. So
is so extensively detailed, you can really see the layers.
are you kidding me? That explains it all. Oh my god, there was sense at the end of the tunnel. This explains it all. He's only taken the wiki. That actually explains it all. The amount of knowledge he has shown of this show, it had to come from a wiki, because no way in hell did he actually watch this show. No way in hell. No way in hell did he read the manga. No way in hell did he read that spin-off. No way in hell. He just looked up the most horrible pictures of Goblin Slayer. So didn't care if they were real or if they belonged to some doujin. Threw them together and was like, this shit is what Goblin Slayer is. Fuck if I read it. I would never. And, oh god. It explains it. Thank you. Thank you for that good laugh at the end. I am done. This finishes it for me. You are done with me. Oh my god. 13 minutes and 25 seconds. I know there are still 7 minutes. I'm not going to bother. If there's anything that I'm missing at the end, tell me. I'll make a second part of this, but this is getting way too long. I am ending it right here, because this is hilarious. This dude, who claims that he is making an analysis, most likely just took this wiki page and was like, yeah, that's all it is. No, I'm not going to read the manga to make sure. Why should I? I've got a wiki page that explains it all. I am so intelligent. Alright. We're ending this right here and right now. If you guys want me to react to other people who might say something stupid, something I agree with, if you want me to react to trailers and all that kind of stuff, let me know. I am tending to make this channel new. And, yeah, reaction channel, as you saw. My setup is not great. Just starting. I just saw this. I was like, I cannot give justice to what I want to say in a YouTube comment section post. So I decided to make a video. You judge. You give me comments. Ratings are all open. Give me thumbs up. Subscribe. Give me thumbs down. Tell me why you didn't like it. And I'll see. Thanks you anyways for listening. And have a good one.